Alright, today we're back with another video. Today I'm gonna break down the UFC 309 fight card. Jim Miller's back. That's gonna be interesting to see. His last fight, he lost to Bobby Green, but he lost unanimous decision. I think with who he's fighting, Damon Jackson, he's coming off a loss as well. I don't know, it's a close fight. Damon, he is the favorite, of course, minus 220. Honestly though, just with the resumes and I've watched a few Jim Miller fights. I'm leaning towards Jim Miller. I think for the main card, this is where it gets a bit interesting. I think Ruffy, if you look at their stats right now, Ruffy is on a win streak. KO, 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 KO. Round 1, 3, 1, 1, 1. But he's coming off of just straight knockout victories. If we look at all of them, all of his fights, even his loss is a knockout. Everything's a knockout. And they all come early rounds. I know he only fights 3 rounds, but rounds 1 and 2. James he's close to getting this. He's really close to getting cut. He's already lost 2 in a row. Submission, split decision. He won the Contender Series on this. He won this fight, Contender Series. Lost a submission, split decision. Both fights this year. He's getting a 3rd fight this year, which is nice to see. If James loses this fight, like I said, I believe he's gonna get cut. Very close to getting cut. This is a do or die for James. Ruffy's on KO. He's on a KO win streak. He's on a KO win streak. He's got the 2-inch reach advantage. Age, he's the older one. He's the older guy. The height, he's the shorter guy by 1 inch. But for this fight, I'm gonna lean with Ruffy. I think Ruffy's gonna get it done in round 1. I think this is gonna be a hard fight for James. I'm not gonna go too deep into this one because I've watched Silva. I'm leaning towards Silva on this one because, like I said, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, she's great. I mean, they're both Jiu-Jitsu based fighters, as you can tell, their styles. But Silva on the win streak. Her last loss was in 2019, and she's been winning ever since. TKO, submission, 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 submission. Everything's been submission except her last fight, where it was a unanimous decision. But still, she's getting the job done, and half the time it's by submissions. If you look at her opponent, she's had her ups and downs. It's been a win, loss, loss, win, loss. She lost to Grazo, Rebus, I think that's how you say her name, Rebus. Maya, she takes it to the ground. I really think Silva's gonna find the way to just capitalize and finish the fight. And I think she's gonna finish it, I say round 3, end of round 3. I know there's only 3 rounds for this one, but I think at the end of the fight, she's gonna find the submission. Maybe late round 2, early round 3. I can see Silva getting the job done. We're looking at Bo Nickel, Paul Craig. Bo Nickel's last fight. You'd say his last fight was boring with Brundage. When his fight on UFC 300. You would say that fight was boring, but honestly, I think Bo Nickel did what he needed to do. He got the job done. He grappled his way. He got the submission. He showcased his skills on the ground, which he always does. I think Bo Nickel's going to go in there. He's going to be very wrestle heavy. And I think he's going to put the pressure on Paul Craig. He's going to be trying to get the takedown early. I don't think Paul Craig is going to really pose big of a threat to Bo. I think Bo Nickel's going to find the takedown in rounds 1. He's going to find the takedown early in round 1. Honestly, my money, if I was to bet on this fight right here, it would have to be Bo Nickel. I'm going to go Bo Nickel, submission, late round 1, early round 2. Now for the people's main event, Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler rematch. Since their last fight, Charles defended the belt once. Then he was supposed to defend it against Gaethje. Missed weight, got stripped of it. I'll say that he defended his title against Gaethje. Took care of Gaethje real easy. Then lost to Islam. But then he beat Dariush, lost to Sarukian. Michael Chandler, he's been out for a while. He's been chasing that Conor McGregor fight. We'll go to his profile. His last fight was in 2022. Lost to Dustin Poirier. And honestly, this is my opinion on the Dustin Poirier fight. I believe he was winning rounds 1 and 2. Then we go look at Charles Oliveira. title. Beat Dariush, round 1. Beautiful finish from him. And they lost to Sarukian, but a lot of people thought he won. And if it was a 5-round fight, I believe Charles would have finished that fight. Chandler dropped him in the first round and nearly finished him. If he was just a little more patient on the shots, didn't jump on him. If he let Charles stand up, maybe Charles would have got finished. And Chandler would have been the champion. But Charles recovered round 2, came back and shocked everybody and knocked out Michael Chandler. And that's why this fight, I'm very conflicted on who to pick. But honestly, since their last matchup, like I said, Charles has been more active. Chandler, he's still in shape, but he's not really doing any fights. I feel like Charles has been fighting top contenders. Chandler's last fight, like I said, lost to Dustin Poirier, who was a top contender. Then he beat Tony Ferguson. That was his last win, was a wash to Tony Ferguson. So honestly, if I'm leaning towards it, I'm going to lean towards the favorite, Charles Oliveira. I feel like Charles is going to finish him in round 2. I feel like submission. But I don't know. Like I said, Michael Chandler's pretty chinny. And I feel like Charles is going to finish him. Either KO or submission. Like I said, it's a toss-up. If Michael Chandler was to get it done, honestly, if Michael Chandler was to get it done, I would say KO or TKO. I'd say TKO. Charles used to have quit in him a long time ago, but he has not shown that whatsoever. In his recent fights, he has not shown quit. He's been showing toughness. Charles can get knocked down, get back up, finish the fight, win. But for this fight, I'm going to pick Charles Oliveira by finish, either rounds 1 or 2. Now for the main event. It was supposed to take place last year. It was supposed to take place, I think, last November. I'm not sure, but I think it was, yeah. Yeah, I think it was supposed to take place last November, but it ended up not happening because of Jon Jones. He tore his pectoral muscle, I'm pretty sure it was. He's undefeated. His last fight against Cyril Gane, he looked slow, but he was a lot heavier. He's coming into this fight a little bit lighter. But his last fight against Cyril Gane, he finished him within the minute of the first round. No striking really shown. The only shot that he took was a nut shot from Cyril's foot. And like I said, that's about it. I see Jon coming into the fight. Jon's lighter, which is gonna be, I don't know if that's gonna be a problem for Stipe. He's got the reach advantage, 4.5 reach advantage. He can switch stances. He's orthodox here, but you know, he can switch stances. There are takedowns. Stipe can wrestle, and that's what people forget though, is like they forget who Stipe is. And that's why everybody who's like, oh, Jon Jones is gonna dominate, you guys forget who Stipe is. He beat Francis by decision. He lost to Cormier, beat Cormier, but that was in 2019, 2020. His last fight ever in the octagon was against Francis Ngannou. We all saw how that played out. Francis Ngannou, to me, is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Reason being, he was champion in the UFC, okay? Had a title defense, beat Cyril Gane. Then he left. He fought Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Debatably, I believe that he beat Tyson Fury, but close fight, whatever. He lost by devastating knockout to AJ. Then he beat Ferreira for the PFL championship. He's done it all. That guy achieved a lot. I think he's the greatest. But you don't really see Jon Jones standing and throwing heavy shots, knocking out anybody. On the other hand, Stipe knocked down DC, knocked him out in the rematch, the trilogy. He was piecing him up, and then in that fight with Ngannou, he was, yeah, he got flatlined. Jon Jones, he beat Cyril Gane, but after that, he's been inactive for a year. Both guys inactive for a long time. Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time, according to Dana White and according to many people. And in my opinion, like I said, this fight's a toss-up too. My prediction for this fight, I'm gonna go Stipe Miocic round 4 knockout. I think Stipe is gonna find the shot in round 4, and I think he's gonna drop Jon Jones, because if you've seen the Dominic Reyes fight, Dominic Reyes debatably dropped Jon Jones, and Stipe's got more power. And I think Stipe's boxing is more crisp, but I think he's gonna pose a big threat for Jon Jones, more than people are suspecting. And I think he's gonna shock a lot of people. I think Stipe's gonna finish this fight round 4 knockout. And that's my prediction. Let me know who you guys got down below for these picks that I have. These are just my picks. I love all of them. Wish luck to everybody. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video. And yeah, this is my second. I was supposed to post this yesterday, but I got caught up with all the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing, and I was training as well. So it's coming out early today, hopefully. But yeah, anyways.